Most people think talking to yourself is something strange. Maybe you've even caught yourself doing it and immediately looked around to make sure nobody noticed. Society often treats self-talk like a sign that something is wrong, but psychology tells a very different story. In reality, many intelligent, self-aware, and emotionally resilient people talk to themselves regularly. Some whisper thoughts under their breath. Others rehearse conversations in the mirror. Some explain problems out loud when nobody's around. And while it may seem unusual on the surface, research shows this habit can actually reveal powerful mental strengths. So if you talk to yourself, there's a good chance your mind is doing something most people don't fully understand. Here are 5 hidden strengths you probably have. Number 1, you process emotions deeply. Psychology shows that talking to yourself can help regulate emotions and reduce stress. When you put your thoughts into words, your brain becomes better at organizing feelings that otherwise feel overwhelming. That's why many people naturally start talking to themselves during difficult moments, after an argument, during heartbreak, while feeling anxious. It's not because they're losing it, it's because the mind is trying to heal itself. Think about those moments when you quietly say things like, "Okay, calm down," or "Why did that hurt me so much?" That isn't weakness. That's emotional processing happening in real time. Research indicates that self-talk creates psychological distance. When you hear your thoughts out loud, you stop drowning in them and begin understanding them instead. People who never reflect on their emotions often suppress them until they explode later. But people who talk themselves through pain tend to become more emotionally aware over time. So if you talk to yourself after stressful situations, it may mean you have a deeper emotional intelligence than you realize. Number 2, you are highly self-aware. Most people move through life on autopilot. They react without questioning themselves. They repeat patterns without noticing them. But people who talk to themselves often spend more time observing their own thoughts and behaviors. And self-awareness is one of the rarest strengths a person can have. When you ask yourself questions out loud like, "Why do I always do this?" or "What am I really feeling right now?" you are actively examining your inner world. Psychology suggests that self-reflection improves decision-making and personal growth because it helps people recognize their habits, triggers, and motivations. This is why many thoughtful people talk through decisions alone before making them. They're not confused. They're trying to understand themselves clearly. Sometimes your self-talk might sound like encouragement. Sometimes it sounds like analysis. Sometimes it sounds like you trying to make sense of life. But all of it points toward one thing. Your mind wants clarity, not distraction. And in a world full of noise, self-awareness becomes a quiet superpower. Number 3, you are mentally resilient. Research shows that positive self-talk can improve performance, motivation, and resilience under pressure. Athletes do it. Public speakers do it. Even surgeons and performers sometimes talk themselves through difficult tasks. Why? Because your inner voice affects your mental state more than you think. When life becomes stressful, many people instantly become their own worst critic. But people who naturally talk themselves through challenges often learn how to become their own source of support. You've probably done this without realizing it. Just keep going. You've handled worse. One step at a time. Those small conversations matter. Psychologists have found that encouraging self-talk helps people stay calmer during difficult situations and recover faster from setbacks. And the interesting part is this. Resilient people are not people who never struggle. They're people who know how to guide themselves through struggle. So if you often coach yourself through hard moments, it may mean you've developed an inner strength that many people never build. Number 4, you have a creative and active mind. People with vivid imaginations often talk to themselves because their thoughts move faster and deeper than average. Their minds are constantly connecting ideas, replaying scenarios, exploring possibilities, or solving problems internally. Research indicates that talking out loud can improve memory and problem-solving because it activates multiple parts of the brain at once. That's why many creative people think better when they speak their thoughts aloud. Writers brainstorm by talking to themselves. Artists narrate ideas while working. Students remember information better when they repeat it aloud. Even children naturally talk to themselves while learning because it helps the brain process information. And sometimes your self-talk is simply your imagination trying to organize itself. You replay conversations. You imagine future situations. You explain ideas to nobody in particular. But this doesn't mean your mind is chaotic. It often means your brain is highly engaged. Some of the most thoughtful people in the world spend a lot of time in conversation with themselves, because creativity rarely grows in silence. Number 5, you are comfortable being alone. One of the biggest reasons people fear talking to themselves is because society associates it with loneliness. But there's a difference between being alone and being disconnected from yourself. Many people cannot tolerate silence because silence forces them to face their thoughts. So they constantly distract themselves with noise, scrolling, or other people. But if you talk to yourself comfortably, it often means you've learned how to exist in your own company, and that's rare. Psychology suggests that people who can spend time alone without feeling empty often develop stronger self-identity and independence. You don't always need validation from others to process your experiences. Sometimes your own voice is enough to ground you. That doesn't mean you never feel lonely. It means you've learned how to emotionally survive solitude. And honestly, that's a strength many people secretly wish they had. Because when you become comfortable with yourself, you stop depending on constant external approval just to feel okay. So if you talk to yourself, maybe it's not something you should hide. Maybe it means your mind is reflective. Maybe it means you process life deeply. Maybe it means you've learned how to guide yourself through difficult emotions when nobody else was around. The truth is, people often misunderstand behaviors they don't fully understand, and self-talk is one of them. Of course, everyone experiences it differently, but for many people, talking to themselves is not a flaw. It's a sign of awareness, resilience, creativity, and emotional depth. So the next time you catch yourself speaking your thoughts out loud, don't immediately judge yourself for it. Your inner voice may actually be one of your greatest strengths. And if this video made you feel understood, subscribe for more psychology and personality insights that help you better understand yourself and the people around you.